Welcome back to the Daily Past, where the truth is never sugarcoated. Today, the focus is on a serious issue that continues to be ignored by both the UK government and the media: the dangerous habit of labeling Pakistani and Bangladeshi criminals as Asians, while avoiding any specific mention of their nationality. This vague terminology is not just misleading, it's a huge mistake with significant consequences. The term Asian has been used over and over again in the UK press to describe criminals involved in high-profile incidents. And while it might sound politically correct, this broad one-size-fits-all label is nothing short of deceptive. When the media reports crime and uses the term Asian, it's usually a coded reference to a very specific group of individuals: Pakistani and Bangladeshi men, mostly Pakistani. But the problem isn't just the avoidance of details, it's that this lack of specificity allows the real issue to remain unaddressed, and potentially allows patterns to continue unchecked. Why is this important? Let's look at the facts. In the UK, certain criminal patterns have emerged, many involving individuals from the Pakistani communities. And yet, instead of naming them, the media opts for the blanket term Asian. This raises the question: why avoid the truth? If the perpetrators are Pakistani or Bangladeshi, why is there such a reluctance to say so? One of the most shocking examples of this is the Rotherham child sexual abuse scandal. Over 1,400 girls, mostly underage, were abused by men, many of whom were of Pakistani descent. For years, the authorities and the media bent over backward to avoid directly acknowledging the ethnic background of the perpetrators. Why? The fear of being labeled racist kept the truth from being told. This wasn't about racism. It was about accountability. If the crime is committed by individuals from a specific ethnic group, that should be stated clearly. Hiding behind terms like Asian only helps cover up the real problem, and in the case of Rotherham, it delayed justice for those young victims. The fact that this terminology continues to be used is also evident in the reporting of terrorism-related incidents. Take the 7th of July bombings in London, for example. The perpetrators were Pakistani. But instead of saying this outright, the term Asian was once again used. And this is where things get problematic. By avoiding direct mention of the criminal's nationality, the media allowed the story to lose focus. It muddied the waters and, in turn, made it harder for the public to understand the real threat. And it doesn't end there. Recently, Elon Musk, yes, the same Elon Musk who's been making waves in the political world along with tech, took a very bold stance on this issue. He didn't hold back when he called out UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer over his handling of the Pakistani grooming gang scandal. Musk's comments hit a nerve. And it's no surprise why. For years, the government and media have skirted around the reality of these grooming gangs, using vague terms like Asian, and never confronting the issue head-on. But Musk, a man known for speaking his mind, wasn't afraid to put the spotlight on the specific communities involved, calling out Starmer for his failure to directly address the issue. In a tweet, Musk questioned why Starmer and other political leaders have been so hesitant to name the problem for what it is: Pakistani men exploiting young girls across the UK. He made it clear that political correctness and fear of backlash have only helped perpetuate the silence, while the victims continue to suffer. Musk's criticism is a wake-up call, and it's something the UK government can't ignore any longer. But here's the thing: while Musk's comments are important, the question remains: why has it taken someone from outside the UK to call out the truth? The government, and Keir Starmer in particular, have been too careful, tiptoeing around this issue for far too long. The media continues to rely on broad terms like Asian to avoid naming those responsible, and that only perpetuates the problem. And it doesn't stop there. Musk didn't just stop at criticizing Starmer, he went further. In a rare and bold move, Musk publicly urged the UK king to dissolve the current parliament and call for immediate elections. Why? Because Musk believes the current government, led by Starmer, has failed the people of the UK. His call for the dissolution of parliament is Musk's attempt to push a right-wing agenda, one that he believes would safeguard the UK's future by addressing issues like grooming gangs head-on. Musk, as controversial as he may be, is asking the hard questions that many in the UK government are avoiding. His stance reflects the frustration of citizens who feel their concerns are being ignored. And while it's clear that Musk's vision for the country may not align with everyone's views, there's no denying the truth in his criticism of the current leadership's failure to act decisively. Musk's words reflect what many have been saying for years: the need for honest conversation. It's time the UK government and media stop being afraid of backlash and start focusing on the real issues at hand. Only by addressing the truth can real progress be made. Now, this doesn't mean that every individual of Pakistani or Bangladeshi descent is a criminal, but the failure to address the patterns within these communities, especially when it comes to crimes like grooming gangs, sex trafficking and terrorism, does nothing to help solve the underlying issues. By refusing to be specific, the media and the government continue to ignore the root causes, perpetuating a cycle of inaction. Why does this matter? Because it breeds confusion and misinforms the public. When Asian is used, it includes people from all over the continent. China, India, Japan, Korea and so on. And yet in the context of the UK's crime reporting, the term Asian has come to be synonymous with Pakistani or Bangladeshi. And this misrepresentation doesn't just impact perceptions of criminality, it creates a dangerous environment of fear and mistrust. The truth is that when specific nationalities are not named, it harms the public's ability to fully understand what is going on. If Pakistani men are overrepresented in crimes like grooming gangs, terrorism and violence, then that's the fact. No one should be afraid to state this plainly. Hiding behind the vague label of Asian only serves to protect the real issues from coming to light. It also does a disservice to the vast majority of law-abiding Pakistani citizens. By continually being grouped into these sweeping generalizations, they are unfairly caught up in the negative narrative. It's time for the media to stop using these lazy terms and start calling out the real criminals for who they are, Pakistani or Bangladeshi, not just Asian. Only by doing this can there be a true conversation about the social, economic, and cultural issues that contribute to these criminal patterns. But there's more at play here. The fear of labeling criminals by their ethnicity isn't just a media issue, it's a governmental issue. The UK government has been complicit in failing to address these issues directly, preferring instead to promote politically correct language at the expense of real solutions. For example, the failure to address the overrepresentation of certain communities in criminal statistics has led to a lack of effective solutions. By not engaging in honest discussions about why certain groups are overrepresented in criminal behavior, the government continues to ignore crucial factors such as lack of integration, social exclusion, and even issues around radicalization. Let's not forget the wider implications of this. When specific issues aren't tackled head-on, they are only allowed to grow. Take, for example, the rise in radicalization among some members of these communities. If these issues aren't acknowledged and addressed directly, then the problem only worsens, and we risk more lives being lost. But when the word Asian is thrown around, the focus gets lost. It's time for clear accountability, and for media and government alike to stand up to the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. So here's the question. Why does the UK media continue to use vague terminology like Asian when reporting on crimes committed by Pakistani or Bangladeshi individuals? Is it a case of political correctness gone too far, or is there a deeper issue at play? And more importantly, what needs to change for the public to get the full, unvarnished truth? This isn't just about crime reporting, it's about honesty, accountability, and transparency. The media and government have a responsibility to be accurate, and it's time to stop hiding behind terms that obscure the facts. That's it for today. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the media should be more specific when reporting on crimes? Should terms like Asian be abandoned entirely in favor of more precise language? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep watching The Daily Past.